how to double your income, the art of compressing time. We're going to put out a few ways that you can double, triple, quadruple your income. So let's just go ahead and say it's you. It's just you. You're out here working, making money, trying to do what you're trying to do to feed your family. First thing you need to do is audit your time. You got to get into measuring your daily output. Let's say if you're a salesperson and it takes you 5 days to set 15 appointments, 5 days to set 15 appointments. What you want to do is compress your time where you're getting those 15 appointments in one day. Now, this may sound a little scary. It may sound like, whoa, 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 that's crazy. But once again, go back and audit your time. Most people don't work their 40 hours, they work 15 to 20. Seriously, this is why your pay is so low because it's predicated on what you actually do. Because it's like, okay, well, we're not going to pay this person for 40 hours of work. We're going to pay them for 20. And this is why your income is the way that it is. Because most people do not work 40 hours. They don't work 160 hours a month. They typically work half of that time. Time is absorbed so many different ways. Facebook, Instagram, chatting with coworkers. All of this stuff happens at the workplace. All of this stuff is going on while you're supposed to be working. I understood the power of auditing your time long before I got here to YouTube because I would make a game of cleaning out units because the variables that you can control, like you couldn't control when the auctions happened, but you could control your cleanup schedule. You could control your ad posting schedule. Let's say you're doing eBay and you post 50 listings a week. You want to get that to a day because essentially, when you're able to compress your time, this is when you will see amazing results. Like, let's say there was a week the auctions were kind of scant. I cleaned out 6 units in one day. This is from 6 a to about 9 p.m. Um, Went there, loaded up the truck, went back to the warehouse, dropped it off, went back, picked up other units. Because the thing is, I missed some auctions, but the way that they ran us, you didn't have no choice because they sometimes will say you only got 48 hours to clean out this unit. And cleaning out the unit, processing the unit as fast as possible increased the cash flow. I mean, it was amazing. I sit back and I think about it. Me and my partner could unload, process, sort, see where the money was in a 10 by 20, 10 by 30 in about 3 hours. Now, when we first started, it took all day because you had to go through some stuff. You have to look at stuff. As you do, you learn things that you have to do and things you can get away with not doing. But, going back to let's say, first of all, let's talk about your situation. Let's say you have a job that you could double your output. It's not really going to give you double your income. So you got to put yourself in a position where you can double your income. So one of the things I tell people who still need a job while they're hustling is to get a security job. because you're sitting there doing security, and then you can do your own thing on your laptop or your tablet. This is called double time. I've had a lot of students who've done this. If you don't know what you want to do, or you're kind of struggling, or you know what you want to do, get a security job where you're just sitting for 8 hours, or maybe you got to make rounds. But in these 8 hours, you could take 4 to 5 and work on your stuff and make more money. So the first thing you should do is put yourself in a position to double your income if your job doesn't allow for it. Like, say your job, you become extremely efficient where you can get all your work done in 2 hours. If you're in the area where if you were doing other work, it would be noticed, you can't do that. So you may have to change jobs, which could be a bump in income. Because one of the things you have to do to double your income is to really push, push. It's not something that you can do passively. Many people, very interesting statistic for income that people make. You typically make your lowest income between 17 and 22. Then it ramps up a little bit between 23 and 28. Then your best earning years are typically between 28 and 35. And then after this, it levels off, then it starts to decrease. So what's going on with that? Why is your income going up? Because when you're younger, you take more chances. You will embrace, you'll volunteer for stuff. But when you become older, you move into chill mode. You become less risk adverse. You become complacent. This is something that I have to fight against every day. Like, I was talking about all of these young people making this big money. They have lit a fire under me. So I had to challenge myself to push myself to do more, because this is what keeps your income going up. Reinventing yourself, pushing more, doing more, stacking more. This is what raises your income. If you're not careful, you'll get into this area when you're in your 40s where your income will start to go down year by year because you're not doing anything new. You're not taking any chances. You're not doing any risk. So I think for you to be like, say you're 45 and you go ahead and you start a business, that's a big change. And that's going to dramatically ramp up your income because you have to embrace change. You have to do more things. So typically, for income to go up, because essentially, what I'm trying to do at my age, typically people are done. They're like, I'm 52 years old. They're at where they're going to be. They're going to try to preserve, they're going to try to maintain. And essentially, what happens is when people become my age, they try to get the most for the least. Try to set their hours, have more days off, make the same money. This is the game that many people who are older play. Whereas I'm playing a different game. I'm still out here stoking. I'm still out here killing dragons. I'm still out here trying to do some stuff. So that is a big part of how to double your income, because you're going to have to audit your time and you're going to have to push to do more in the allotted time. Because when you can start to do more than most people do in a week, well, let's say if you like 2 days, if you can get accomplished in 2 days what the average person gets accomplished in a week, you will be, you can do in 3 years what it will take them 15 to 20 to do. I want you to think about that. because once you can start to compress your time, and the quickest way to compress your time is to audit your time, get into something where you can track, where like sales. Because I mean, the math is simple. If you do X amount of sales calls, even if you're terrible, you're gonna make some sales. That's one of the beautiful things about sales is it's a mathematical equation. More calls you make, the more appointments you make, the more presentations you give, the more closings you ask for, the more money you make. It's one of the best things in the world. A lot of people look at this because it's additional responsibility. What? What's up, Richard Mayfield, Mika Stafford, Chris, the guy on the internet, Tayman, Chris Monroe? No, because a lot of people ask about these hats, but they're kind of expensive. Mika Stafford, dang, didn't even know your income goes down as you get older. Yes, this is what happens to the average American. CT principles live by at my job. I have efficient where I can work on my business and self development for at least a few hours. I do forensic accounting, tax audits, usually complete files quick. Antonio Williams, listen to you all day while I do janitorial work, 40 hours, learning 30 hours, friends work. And this is a good point that Antonio's putting out there. The average person doesn't manage their time very well, so they don't really have a lot of time. Because the thing is, if you're serious, you will get up earlier or you will stay up later. You can't get your 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep and become a millionaire. It ain't gonna work. There's too much competition out there. So, think of, if you got a job where no one bothers you and you just got to do your work, take a week, deconstruct what you do, see what you're putting out, see what they like, see what's acceptable, and see if you can get that done in one day. Don't give it to them. This is one of the tricks that I used to do, and I was taught by bad salespeople, very bad salespeople. Is typically when you're in a selling situation, if you exceed your quota next term, they're going to raise your quota. So this guy, he was he was a sham artist. He would get all of his stuff done on Monday. He'd get all his appointments and stuff, but he wouldn't turn it in until next Monday because he said, "Man, if they knew how fast I worked, they would give me more work to do. They would increase my workload." And the thing is, an increased workload was more money, but many people did not see it that way. One of the things that happens with the American worker, and this is why there's a beautiful thing that's happening with people who are self-employed, is you get a job. Your goal is to get paid the most for the least amount of output. That's the game that you're playing. When you get exposed to the business quadrant, the more you work, the luckier you become. The more you work, the more money you become that comes in your life. The more you put out, the better your life gets. So this is one of the things that's very hard for the average American worker to wrap their heads around, because when you have average friends and you start talking about, I'm going to audit my day, they're going to start looking at you like you're crazy. Audit your day, man, just go to work and, do the least. What's up, Crep Junkie? This is why business owners typically don't hang out with people who have regular jobs unless they're old friends. They just typically don't, because Their lives are so different. What they're doing is so radically different. I don't even know what it's like for PTO, paid time off. I have no concept of that. Like I want to take time off. What I have to do is set my business up so when I'm off, it's still making money. That's how I get my vacation time. That's what business owners have to do. And it's a very different thing than working a job. If you're working a job, typically if you're working an upper level job, and this is where auditing your time and being more productive and being more efficient pays off. Let's say you have a job, you make 150K a year. Typically, you're not going to have the same issues as someone who's making 30K a year. It's just going to be a very different flow. It's going to be a different hustle. It's going to be a different game. And out there, what's up, Erica Nicole, Malachi Stafford? Automation and robotics are eating up the world. Like if Amazon could get away with it, because half their warehouse is automated, but they still need people. Richard Mayfield, working 3 to 4 weeks out of state with 1 week off makes it difficult to grow my business. And some of you are in a situation like Richard, where you may have to evaluate, is there another job you can get, which will give you more time to build your business? Because I, for one, advocate having a job. I'm never, not one video I have up here that says just quit your job without a good plan. Kirk Johnson. Junior Kelly, people get paid by hour, don't realize it's not the hour you get paid for, it's the value that you bring to the hour. That's an interesting way of looking at it, because typically take this whole $15 per hour minimum wage thing. There are many businesses that their margins are so thin, they can't support $15 per hour employees. They will literally be going out of business. And this is where fantasy meets reality. This is why, there's this disconnect between the business community and society at large and the government. They're like, they could just pull that additional $7.50 out of air. No. We got to sell X amount of donuts to raise this money. This is what we have to do. But if you want to double your income, the most efficient way is to hire employees. Because essentially, whenever you hire people, you are buying time. Employees buy you time. You got 50 employees, you've just bought, let's see. You got 50 employees. So you're paying them 50 times 160. You just bought 8,000 hours. There's something you can't do. That's why investing in yourself is the key. Wages will make you a living, profits will make you a fortune. Absolutely. What's up, Christian? Absolutely. One of the things that has happened is that there is a separation in the classes. You've got the people who work in McDonald's, you have the people who work in the grocery store. Then you have these workers, like a lot of these people in the fire movement. where they say average income is 70 to 100K. That's not a large percentage of the population. So they're already operating on something that most people, because essentially fire doesn't work for most people, because most people don't make enough money to put away that much money. It's kind of hard to put away 30 grand a year when you're making 30 grand a year. It's much easier when you're making 100K. You're making 100K. Okay, you can put 30K a year away. That's actually commendable. But you're making 30, 35. You'd be good to put away $5,000 or $6,000 a year. So once again, the process is to audit your time, see how you can get more done faster. Productivity is the key, because if you are in a situation where you can get the stuff done in one day that takes most people a week to do, you're going to escalate much faster. Malachi Stafford, when's a great time to hire people when you get your business off the ground? Depends on the business. Some people need to hire folks before they even start the business. I had a friend who had a staffing agency, and he hired 4 people before he had his first client, but he knew what he was doing. He had these 4 people. He opened up the office. In his first week, he got 10 clients, but he knew what he was doing because he had been in that industry. So just depending on, because essentially, if you, let's have this scenario. Let's say you have a job, a good job. You make 150K a year and you start a side business. You want to hire people immediately where you're managing the business and you're not participating in the business. That would be the play right there, because you will get your business will grow exponentially because you are buying people's time. 150K a year, keep your job, run your business, and hire people to work it. Last time I lived in apartments, this girl who worked in the leasing office, her and her husband started a dry cleaning, and they hired people. He kept his job, she kept her job. They didn't quit until the dry cleaning was bumping. Because last time I saw her, she's like, "Yeah, this is my last day." I said, "Y'all doing well?" She says, "We're doing very well." That time, that conversation when someone's like, "We're doing very well," look, and I go outside and I see the brand new Lexus that she hops in. So one of the things you want to do is become a productivity person. How to audit your sleep, audit your day. Like today was like last night. I didn't have a good night. Um, Fortunately for me, the bad nights are being reduced. This wasn't a very productive day for me, but it's just one day. And in my journal, I'm still coming back. I'm still trying to, we're just 2 months after this heart attack thing. So I feel that I'm progressing very nicely. Junior Kelly, waking up at 4 a.m. has helped me achieve goals for my business I couldn't do otherwise as it relates to time. If you're serious, you're going to get up earlier, you're going to stay up later. This is one of the things the average person has a problem with, trying to get more in the same hours. It's like, I'm not trying to give up my sleep. I'm not trying to give up this. I'm not trying to give up that. And it just typically isn't going to work out unless you alter what you're doing. Like I had a friend wanted to start a business, um, married, 2 kids. And he's like, "Man, where can I find the time?" I was like, "You create the time. You get up earlier and you stay up later. You be the family man. You go work your job. You provide for your family." And he was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to work on his business. And at that point, his wife, who was very resistant, when she saw that he was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, she came on board. See, when you show people that you're serious, they typically fall in line. Produce man 13. I stay up to 4 a.m. Man, you are a beast. I mean, the reality is you don't have to do this forever. Getting up early, staying up late, you don't have to do this forever. Maybe a few months, maybe a few years. This isn't forever. And this is one of the big holdups with people making these radical changes in their schedule. They think it's forever. You can do it. And also, someone had put in here Justin Henry creating their schedule. That right there, I operate off a list of written things to do. I just started using VAs and I stay up late. Once I hit my goal, then I fall back, but I know it's going to take a few years. What's up, Charles Letta? Yep, facts. Sleep after you make it. I'm lucky if I get 4 hours every night. This is the recipe. This is the process. The guy on the internet. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it. 1 year unbelievably difficult backbreaking work to change your whole life, change your whole attitude and mindset. All right. Michael S. Copeland. I do 2 to 2.5 days of work every day. It's about optimizing for productivity. And that's the ticket right there. But on to this point, what the guy on the internet said, yeah, a lot of people don't realize 1 year unbelievably difficult, back-breaking work to change your whole life. My first 6 months of YouTube, I wasn't getting paid. I was working this like it was a full-time job. I would wake up, do a little research, have breakfast, go for a walk, come back, do a video, then do some more research. And at the time, YouTube was very different back then. But the more videos that I put up, the more traffic I got to my blog. So some days I was putting up 3 to 5 videos a day. When you can front load your life or back load your life. There it is. Because when you like start working like a madman or a madwoman, you will start to see very fast results. That's the productivity hack. That's when you're actually doing more than the average person because it's not very hard to beat average. I stay up late sometimes because it's the only way I can get a lot done with no distractions. Like my dude with the family, he did that for 3 years, getting up at 3 a.m. He didn't miss any events. He was at his school kids plays and stuff. And then year 3, his business broke out where he had to quit his job because his job was costing him money because he was just like, man, it's like every hour somebody's hitting my phone up. I was like, you're at the point where it's costing you money to keep your job. And see, he had already crossed the threshold where the income was there. Hear me and hear me now. Don't go quitting your job until the income is there because he had scaled it up properly. He was one of my few friends who listened to me. He made these moves. He spent money where he was supposed to spend money. And when he was doing about $23,000 a month when he quit his job. So there was no there was no change. There was no bills were still paid. There was no change. There was no additional pressure because during those 3 years, he knew that he could make the money. And this is one of the big things that happens to people who are scaling up. They get it in their mind that I've done this and I can do this. This is one of the things. Diane Orange says, I get up at 3 to get it rocking and rolling. And it's very different when it's early in the morning. It's very different The world is still asleep. It's quiet. There's less traffic on the road. You can go outside, even the squirrels aren't up, and you can get a lot done. But this is what it takes to make more money. You got to give up something to get something. This is one of the things, because as you compress time, as you look for ways to get more done per day. Once again, like if you go back to the video where I was talking about, Earl Nightingale talks about this. One exercise from Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field is every morning devote an hour of writing up topics that will make your business better. That's a productivity hack right there. My East Coast folks are thinking about waking up. Cartel 007 trying to figure out what you can't get these 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K a month numbers from a job. See, this is the situation you have with your job. You're diametrically opposed. You're trying to get as much money out the job as possible with doing the least amount of work, and the job is trying to pay you the least amount of money to keep you. This is the battle that's going on, the yin and the yang. But you're unless you get into a situation where you have a sales job where there's a commission aspect, I don't care how hard you work or don't work, your income is capped. This is one of the things that I did not like about my situation working at Northside Hospital. I mean, I was a high level, very, very productive employee, and that benefited me as a person and work ethic, but it did not benefit me until I got in a situation where that type of effort could benefit me. Because if you got a regular job, I don't care how many productivity hacks you do, unless you just want to uh give tell you the story this dude did. Dude had a contract job. He was making like $250,000 a year. He went and hired someone else to do his job for like 50,000. Then he went out and got another $250,000 a year job. And this went on for 2.5 years, because they were like, he only got caught because someone did an audit, and the person he had hired to do the job had logged in. And this is how this whole thing unraveled, because they were like, what? He had hired someone to do his job. He had outsourced his job, but he had outsourced his full salary. Yes, Anthony Jobs, because most jobs don't pay that kind of money, man. Howard working and brown nosing. Kirk Johnson, most people waste time while driving by listening to the radio. I listen to Glendon and other classics from YouTube on my MP3. Wow. Yeah, man. That was really wild, because it was some type of programming job, and the guys who he had hired were in China. And the guy would log in and do whatever he needed to do, and he would pay him his 50,000. And since he didn't have to be at that job, he went out and got another $250,000 job, because they were like, he's not here, but his work is getting done. So that was the play, right? That was the crazy part. But once again, he had hacked his job. It's like he became a manager of his job, a manager of his role. Produce 13. Produce, man, I'm lost without my to-do list. Without those, it's easy to backslack and waste time. Even if I have a ritual and know exactly what to do, I still get way more done with a planned list. Me, Malachi Stafford, 3 years usually the time before your business break out, and there's a person who's always getting me to go to college, and I tell them no because creation is not taught in school. To make green, Kirk Johnson, I live by the list also. List life is good. Hey, this is how I've had my most productive years when I was employing the power of six, which, let me see. I wonder, I need to bring that back. I need to bring that back because productivity is a very big thing. It is crazy how big productivity is. And this isn't something that's taught in many schools. Yeah, I'm going to have to bring that course back. Let me write this down. So, because I got it somewhere, I just got to figure out where I have it. And I'm going to, anyone else notice online there's these little windows that pop up advertising stuff regardless of where you are? Oh, let's see. Well, well, well. Mm, 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 mm. I think that's in. I'm actually getting ready to do something. All right, Richard Mayfield, Anthony Montgomery. I worked for the government for 7 years and got laid off. Being laid off really done something to me. I never can go back to that. I've been free for far too long. Wow. What's up, Darren Maxey? This is my first time catching a live show. I've been only following you for a few days. Appreciate you. I'm loving the info. Can you direct me to a starting point with the product and videos I need to watch? Sure thing. First thing you need to do, this is where I'm taking people. First thing you need to do is learn to manage your money better. So, this is where we're going to start. Start off with the money management, the basics of finance and wealth development. I can tell you that. And what are your interests? What are you interested in doing? Are you interested in starting a business? Are you interested in hustling? Let me know. But beyond that, this is something that everybody should get. Money management basics of finance and wealth development, because it will help you optimize your money for success. So that's the first thing you get. The links below the stream. And let's see. Just let me know what you're interested in, and I can direct you. Schools never teach quality information like this because the masses could be. I find myself storing study notes from audiobooks on informative podcasts that I place on my phone and instantly research the words and topics and apply them in my daily business applications. Wow. Let's see. Let me get in here and do some stuff. And there's this weird thing that's happening. Aha. So let me change this. I'm just working on something here. Aha, here we go. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm about to give y'all something here. And this is going to help you tremendously. All right. So this is going to help you out tremendously. It's called Scripture Days. All right, Darren Macy. I just started a business looking for ways to market my products. Okay, cool. Nope, I didn't think about doing crazy pranks. I've had my personal business credit worked on. All right. So this is for Darren and anyone else who's interested. What do you sell, man? Be interested to know that. Let's see. All right. So for you, I would recommend 30 days to 2,500. The link's below the video. I would also recommend, since you're starting a business, The Art of Holding. The link's below the video. And I would also recommend Becoming the Boss. And I would recommend Asking for the Money, How to Be an Uber Salesperson. All that stuff's below. That's what I would recommend for you. And the link that I just put up in the chat is Scripted Days. This is a very powerful tool. Very, very powerful. And I think you should get the Hustler's Mindset, Pimping Your Book, Your Mind for Success. Go ahead and pick that up to tune up your thought process. Deborah Ann Matthews. I have a client who's interested in offering a transportation business in 2 or 3, or maybe Arizona. Ask for the money because you're going to have to be trying to sell this transportation. G to Blue, a business or real business? All right, let's have this conversation real quick. A business is something that you can start making money much quicker than with real estate without nowhere near the investment. Hands down, business. Hands down, business. Let's see. All right. So, just out of curiosity, Darren, how did you find me? I'm just curious. That's a question for I like to ask new people. How did you find me? So, Deborah Ann Matthews, on this transportation business, how much money do I have? Yeah, I found several more. Thanks, Erica Nicole. Austin Long, I've been using small incremental weights and documenting my workouts like you said to do. I have more improvement in the last 3 months than the last 2 years. I'm telling you, man, because the thing is, every time you work out, you lift more weight. Because, since I've got to start working out again, because, all my muscles have disappeared, I've got to get back on that same strategy again. Congratulations. I have a resume and career business coach service. I'm looking at your YouTube class. Okay. Charlotta, I'm two starting a business cosmetic company or naturally made products geared toward people with growth problems. All right. There's even a male part for ED. All right, Darren. I was on YouTube looking for how to videos, and your name popped up several times. Awesome. 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 Client has access to about 25K. All right, Charlotte, Charlotte, that's going to be a big seller. All right. First of all, this transportation business, he's going to be trying to get with government services. He's going to try to get government contracts. What's up, Ryan? Leslie referred me. Okay, cool. Thank you, Leslie, whoever you are. So I'm getting ready to go, but that's the show. This week, I'm trying to do something a little different. She says hi. That's very funny. All right. You guys have a good day. I'll see you in the next stream.